Hey everyone, welcome back to the Databank reading. I'll be starting with Nihility. Last time we did Tribi and My Day, the two last 5-star characters that were released. Mostly because Tribi was part of the Harmony lists, and since My Day and Tribi had come out at the same time and had pretty long stories, I decided to put them together in the same video. Now we'll start on Nihility, and we'll start with Welt and Kafka. Since for Welt it might be interesting to know a bit more backstory on the character, because he is already on the Honkai star rail before you join as a character in the main story. Kafka, on the other hand, you encounter as a boss, and she's also the reason why you're the main character. So these two are actually really important at the start of the story immediately. So for Welt, I have almost all of the characters' stories except for the last one. The thing about Welt that I thought would be interesting for people is that he, in Honkai Star Rail, is the same iteration as seen in the Honkai Impact 3rd. His story takes place after the events of the Alien Space manga and the post-Honkai Odyssey. The reason why he left Earth was after an alien invasion, and he wanted to protect other worlds from similar issues. While, of course, in this game it's not directly addressing his past, there are also numerous allusions, I think it's called. Like they're alluding to the Honkai Impact 3rd storyline. So first things first, his character details. The wise and experienced former anti-entropy sovereign who inherited the name of the world, Welt. He has saved Earth from annihilation time and time again. After the incident with Saint Fontaine came to a close, Welt had no choice but to venture with the initiator of the incident to the other side of the portal. Perhaps even he did not expect the new journey nor companions that awaited him there. He has like a really funny nickname in one of the, I think it's the side stories, where you're like chatting with people, and his name is Geometry for Life. And if you see his one attack that actually like bounces between characters, it makes sense. It's like very geometrical. Character story part 1. On the way to the portal, Welt took out a pen and started outlining a sketch. For the 8 years prior to that moment, he'd been repeating this job. Going back further in time, he would construct objects in a different way, as long as the images could be pictured in his mind, but he could never regard that as creation, because they were just the way the original is. Those had nothing to do with his mind. This is just the duty of the man who inherited the name of the world. If the world needs him to save it, then he will become that hero without hesitation. He has fallen down many a times, and been mocked even more, but he will always stand before everyone, either in the past or the future. He will never change. Only now he finds himself embarking on a new journey. I think the new journey points towards like the remaking of the Star Rail path, I guess you could call it, because we are like driving around in a locomotive that was reconstructed from the old Star Rail system. Character story part 2. When Welt returned to that dangerous cosmic battlefield, he could feel his blood start to boil once more. Even when his spaceship lost power and was drifting aimlessly through space, he joked casually with his companion. The end of one adventure is often the beginning of another. When a passing by Himiko managed to save them and informed them that they couldn't go back home, he kept up his jokes. This is like something out of a cartoon, and it's far too coincidental to be real. Life really is that coincidental. Since he can't find his way back home and can't live out a peaceful existence for the time being, why doesn't he take up arms again and fight? This time, there is no burden or destiny to bear. Everything shall obey his own will. So, as seen, Himiko, who had fixed up the train, was passing by and saved him. Character story part 3. These days, Welt rarely fights, and it remains unknown whether or not he retains the strength from his heyday. Gravity manipulation has remained his usual combat means, ever since his cane was transformed from the Star of Eden. He suppresses his enemies with gravity, even creating a kind... Oh, misclicked. Even creating a kind of mini black hole. What he considered his everyday powers are met with amazement by the youngsters of the Express. Mr. Young's incredibly amazing. Even if you need help with anything, Lima, go ask Mr. Young. You need to take turns, let him rest a little while. He's shocked to realize that this carelessness and surety are the results of his countless experiences, marks of the relentless passage of time he had endured. However, the youths aboard the Express are like blank pieces of paper, writing out their own lives. What kind of responsibility should he take on in their lives? He couldn't help but think of the names of people throughout his life who had helped him before. I find that he probably must feel lonely though, because he feels like everybody else is like writing their own lives while he is just reliving the same old story again. At least that's how it comes across for me. Character story part 4. Welt's log with a redacted date. Blank's relationship with the protagonists. Blank's sparkling personality is just like the protagonists in a cartoon. Go for it. Blank, a lively youth. I hope she can keep being imaginative and not feel guilty even if she stumbles. Youths are always going to make mistakes, and Blank will be able to support her. And then another one, I think all of these are like different characters that he's writing a book or a cartoon for. Blank, a reliable youth. There's no need to worry about him. I hope he can chat more with Blank, but if he doesn't want to, then that's fine. And then another one, Blank, I can trust this companion with my life. Blank believes she will make the right decision. And the last character, a common character in cartoons, seeming just a normal creature but actually possesses frighteningly powerful abilities. And the complicated background, it says. Oh, sorry, my voice is going. There's a small note. If I ever get back home, consider making a cartoon out of this. So it seems like he's actually like thinking of making a cartoon out of things that he writes. Sorry. I was thinking, since the character details don't really say it, he is an animator by trade. He's also a seasoned member of the Astral Express crew, and he's the former sovereign of Anti-Entropy, who saved Earth from annihilation time and again, and that's why he got the name Welt. The anti-entropy thing that you can see here, anti-entropy sovereign, is the predecessor of it was the North American branch of Schicksal, which in later on senior scientific researchers from the North American branch deviated from entropy until anti-entropy became finally established. So it's like a really extensive background for the world and how anti-entropy got created. So the North American branch found a new remnant of the old world, which inviting the Entropy organization located in the United Kingdom directly under the Empire Research Institute to come together to explore the analysis. During excavations, they found something in the ruins. Later, Welt, the first ruler who was still a lab assistant at that time, led a group of high-ranking scientists of entropy out of the organization and set up a new organization with these scientists on the basis of Entropy North Europe branch, Anti-Entropy. Welt served as a leader of Anti-Entropy, but subsequently they began to attract people and organizations that absorbed other collaborators, and during the second Honkai, Anti-Entropy had developed to a considerable extent. Anti-entropy, utilizing the something that they found in the remains, dramatically improves the abilities to exploit disastrous energy. So maybe that's how he saved the world, by actually using the energy for something else. Through the research of scientific researchers and the support of subordinate enterprises, Anti-Entropy used Titans in the battle with the Honkai. So they're kind of doing the same thing as the people did on Amphorius, using Titans. If you wanna read more of like what the anti-entropy specifically is, you could go to the Honkai wiki and just type in anti-entropy as written here in the character details. Now, the next character that we'll be talking about is called Kafka. Kafka is a member of the Stellaron Hunters. She's calm, collected, and beautiful, as stated. A dashing, collected, and professional beauty. Used to enchant of Spirit Whisper to set up Lima to absorb the Stellaron. Her hobby is shopping for and organizing her collection of coats. So if you want to give her a gift, get her a coat. People have always imagined her to be elegant, respectable, and in pursuit of things of beauty, even in combat. In her battle, she will take control of one of your characters and make that character actually attack you. So she's kind of like dangerous in that regard. The character details. On the Interastral Peace Corporation wanted list, Kafka's record only shows her name and a note about her interest in collecting codes. Little is known about the Stellaron Hunter aside from her being one of Destiny's slave, Elio's most trusted members. In order to achieve Elio's envisioned future, Kafka gets to work. So she's doing everything because Elio wants this thing and she wants him to succeed. Character story part 1. Kafka, female human, hails from New Babylon of Turgis 5, core member of the Stellaron Hunters, the next in command of Destiny's slave, responsible for the following infractions: the Pierpoint incursion, 2 counts, the Pierpoint heist, the trophy's disappearance, the Stellaron events of Ymors, Bayana, Sheila 39C, Ulmora, 7 Middleville, Laurel 51, and Droa. Cyber attacks against Pierpoint, 4 counts. Cyber attacks against Planet Screwlum. Screwlum from the organization, the Genius Society, is also from Planet Screwlum most likely. Cyber attacks against Herta Space Station. The Jepella Rebellion. Suspected to be related to the following infractions: the Stellaron events of Siglala, Inupace, On G7, Zukov, Lidovia, Ilili, Atuin, and Buhayama. Why is Atuin in there? Wanted level, highest, dead or alive. Wanted order by the Interastral Peace Organization. So maybe she kicked up the hornet's nest a little bit too much. Character story part 2. Due to the investigation's needs, the suspect's basic information is published as follows. Suspect Kafka, wanted serial number, an entire number right there if you want to read it. Female, outworld individual, age unknown, height about 170 centimeters, average body size. She's been spotted draped with a black jacket and wearing a white-collared shirt inside, a pair of tight-fitting dark shorts, purple pantyhose, and a pair of sunglasses on her head. The suspect has been reported to be connected to multiple non-natural disasters occurring in the Luofu in the recent past. She's currently at large and is now publicly wanted on the Luofu. Any department and unit who detected said suspect are encouraged to contact the local Cloud Knights. At the same time, we encourage the suspect to turn herself in and not to take any chances. Luofu wanted order revoked. So for this one it got revoked. The other one is still out, I think. See? So she's actually got her fingers in all the pies she can. Character story part 3. This woman's name is Kafka, a new hunter without any information on file and belongs to no particular organization. She has an ability called Spirit Whisper that allows her to hypnotically manipulate others through language. Recently, she's appeared in Riverland, New Babylon. She was seen communicating with its overchief, Shield, and absconded with him in witness of 143 people. She then made an appearance at a clothing store and stole a black jacket, 2 white shirts, and a red dress with 6 witnesses. After that, she was seen by 28 people at an old music record store where she purchased nothing before she emerged at the Riverland guard station to claim her rewards. She was spotted at the Central Park with 2,695 citizens present. We want Kafka's head, as her lethal crimes cannot go unpunished. Her crimes are not exactly lethal in this part. Like, cybertext and stuff on a space station could actually cause a lot of issues, but for now, she's not really lethal. Character Story Part 4. Go to Pterygis 5 and locate an abandoned building at coordinates. There are the coordinates if you want to see them. Enter it. There is an untouched canned drink under the windowsill on the first floor. Take it. Wait until 11:12 a.m. on Wednesday and place the can at the entrance of the building. Kafka will appear 2 minutes later. There is a chance she will stop to investigate the can. Then, take the chance to throw this ball at her feet. I will take over and converse with her from there. There's also a chance that Kafka will ignore the can. In that case, just throw the ball away. You will die, but death will come for everyone. As for the future that you yearn for, I will realize it. 1/3 order by Destiny's slave. So, the most important part of this is that she's a Stellaron hunter. But what are Stellaron hunters? They are founded and led by Elio, a mysterious organization that collects the Stellarons, and they are also followers of finality. The Stellarons, for example, are the things that are inside the Trailblazer and inside the mother at the ice planet. They are almost everywhere and they cause big trouble. Let's just put it like that. The Stellaron hunters are Kafka, Silverwolf, Blade, Firefly, but she's seen as Sam, her robot, as previously mentioned, but also the Trailblazer, the main character, is a former Stellaron member. So we just lost our memory thanks to Kafka just shoving that thing in our chest, I guess. The next character that we will be talking about is Silverwolf. Silverwolf is another one of the Stellaron hunters, as mentioned. She's a hacker. The universe is just another game to this super hacker. No matter how thorny the defense system, Silverwolf can crack it with ease. Her hacking battle with Skolem of the Genius Society has become stuff of legends in the hacking world. How many more levels are there to beat in the universe? Silverwolf looks forward to finding out. So, as you can see, she is a hacker and she's tried to hack into the space station or Genius Society things. Character Story Part 1. She toyed with the joystick, day in, day out. A fast food restaurant with only one employee. A basement turned into an arcade hall. Several old arcade machines. This was her childhood. She didn't have a legal name or an identity number, only a nickname the proprietress chose for her. She did not have any friends, but she's not lonely. She liked the game of Pong, 2 lines and a dot of light, the simplest of ball games. She could play it for a whole day. She liked Battlefield 32, 8 blocks of different colors in a matrix-drawn sky. There was only one rule: win, no matter what. She liked Geometric Wars, Odysseus, and Star Cheetah. The score records in these games were filled with astronomical numbers left by other patrons. She toyed with the joystick day in, day out, until one name remained on all of the score records. She set down the joystick and looked around the empty basement. Many people have sought respite in this place, but few stayed behind. Many have left, but few returned. She blinked and turned off the screen. That night, the only employee of the fast food restaurant said goodbye to the proprietress and became the next person to leave. The game called Basement ended that night. So she literally spent her nights in the basement, playing video games, not realizing that everybody else was leaving. Even then, she didn't really know any of them very well, didn't see them as friends, so there was not a big loss for her, I guess. It does sound lonely though. Character Story Part 2. She traveled west through the barren land, arriving at Mount Scrap. She wants to find a job, but was obstructed by her tendency to be a loner. On Punk Lord, almost everyone works in teams. Loners usually don't last long. Acquiescing to her situation, she fabricated some virtual partners. Her first one was called Friend. Of course it was. Her second was Demon Lord, inspired by a poster she saw on the streets. In her imagination, it was a veteran who had lost the ability to speak. She suddenly thought this theme was too harmonious and lacked realism, so she named the third one White Collar and the fourth Servant. Her final one was called Preschool Classmate. There wasn't a special meaning attached to this, she just really ran out of ideas. After much deliberation, she deleted this last person from her list. She stored her partners in an intelligent weapon, so she could pompously introduce her sizable team to intermediaries. She got her first job. Its risk was as unimaginable as its reward. Maybe she sold herself too well that people believed her, or they just wanted to see this newbie's performance dead or alive. On Punklord, almost everyone works in teams. Loners usually don't last long. Those who could last would eventually become legends. After 24 system hours, she walked out of the Slag Gang's base, alone and through the front gate. The intermediary was silent. They looked at her, then at the sky, before turning around to toss a chest full of gold ingots on the ground. The game called Mount Scrap ended that day. So she sees everything that she goes through as a game. I guess that's one way to go through life. Character Story Part 3. She stood at the top of the tallest building in the Rainbow City, from which she could see her birthplace. A fast food restaurant with only one employee, a basement turned into an arcade hall. Several old arcade machines, this was her childhood. She remembered liking the games of Pong, 2 Lions and a Dot of Light, the simplest of ball games. She could play it for a whole day. Just like how, right now, the crimson lights of the horde of drones filled the night sky in crisscrossing lines. Wave by wave they swarmed her and wave by wave they fell. She remembered liking Battle Wheel 32, 8 blocks of different colors in a matrix drawn sky. There was only one rule, win no matter what. Just like how right now, distinct colors split the internet into 8 regions and people from all kinds of organizations gather in the square for a singular goal, to capture Silverwolf, no matter the cost. She remembered liking Geometric Wars, liking Odysseus, liking Star Cheetah. The score results in these games were filled with insurmountable astronomical numbers, just like how right now. Wait, no. Only this is somewhat different. Insurmountable? How, what's that? She stood at the top of the tallest building in the Rainbow City, from which she could see her birthplace. She climbed too high for another person to stand beside her. However, she looked up even higher than before. She can see the starry skies within reach of her hands, but yet so impossibly far. So boring. The game called Rainbow City ended that day. So as, I think this one also has it, yeah. It's always the game ends that day, so everywhere she goes, she just sees it as a game. She doesn't really see it as life, I guess. Character Story Part 4. She stood on a chair and dusted the screen of the arcade machine in circular motions again and again, trying to wipe away each particle with dust on it. She returned to that fast food restaurant, to that basement. She opened the door and everything was there where they used to be. The proprietress kept all the arrangements for her. The soft pink light spilled on the screen like the neon lights in the city, reminding her of the starry skies she saw on that day. She was not the first to reach the top of that building and not the first to have gazed upon those starry expanses. She knew the story of Zero, the greatest hacker and the most terrifying player in the era of internet wars. He caused the first global network paralysis just to summon the IPC's escort ship to his doorstep. She thought of Sage, the creator of the ether editing technology, a weirdo who named himself after the dead. To leave the planet, he was still willing to discard his physical flesh, raid into the dark zone and become a wraith eternally wandering the interterrestrial network. She recalled Stoneblade, the pride of Mount Scrap. His tales of resisting the Oasis Zone were oft told among families in the barren land. Some said he eventually led with the Galaxy Rangers, continuing his rebellious spark in the cosmos. His lover, Twin Snake, a celebrity in the Oasis Zone. Her whereabouts were widely disputed, and all people knew was that their birth could not stop them from being together, but the cosmos eventually parted them. On Punklord, any hacker who can be called legendary has ended up with the same fate. As the legend of the current era, she knew that she had already arrived at that threshold. Clop clop. She heard footfalls coming from above her, getting closer, closer. 1, 2, 3, 4 people. A man, a woman, a metal humanoid, and she sat down, turned around and looked around the empty basement one last time before turning to the person at the door. I'll join. The game called Punklord ended that day. So the man, the woman, and the metal humanoid are probably Sam or Firefly, Kafka and Blade. And that's most likely the day that she joined them. So as you can see, these two are actually really well connected, and Welt is actually one of the, the base characters of the Honkai Star Rail that you're in. The next characters I'll be reading will be Fuge or Fuge, Acheron, and Pilla. I don't have Yaoju and Black Swan, so I'll probably have to read those separately then. I do hope that the extra info I gave a little bit was actually interesting to you guys. Thank you for being here. If there's anything else that you would want me to read, please let me know in the comments. Please leave a like, it does help it spread to other people as well. I'll see you guys next week with another episode, and I hope you guys have a nice morning, day, evening, or night, depending on what time of day it is for you guys. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!